When the cameras stop rolling this week on the soap opera Neighbours, Australia will not only say goodbye to the residents of Ramsay Street, but also to our longest-running television drama. Since it first aired in the mid-1980s, Neighbours has become a cultural institution. Its record run of almost 9,000 episodes produced some of Australian television's most memorable moments. And it's launched an impressive list of international stars, some reprising their roles for one last trip to the fictional suburb of Erinsborough. But throughout the decades of on-screen drama, the production has also attracted criticism and controversy. For tonight's special report, Margaret Paul visited the famous cul-de-sac to see why these neighbours made such good friends for viewers around the world.
After 37 years, the cameras will stop rolling this week. And one of the most successful Australian export products and a training ground for generations of film and TV professionals will be out of business.
It'll be very emotional. I think we're all preparing for it now.
It's incredibly sad because it's, like, I suppose you could equate it to like when you finish school and, you got all your friends all in the one spot and then, you're not going to see them again.
So what are you going to do, chuck it all in?
We're not going to have this warehouse that's pumping out scripts 52 weeks a year so that people can learn how to make TV. What a terrible loss for the Australian industry that something that is going year in, year out is now coming to an end.
Neighbours creator Reg Watson learned his trade on British soaps. His idea for a show called Living Together was knocked back by Channel 9, but picked up by Channel 7 as Neighbours, axed a year later and picked up again by Channel 10. It added some promising new cast members,
Charlene,
and cranked up a flat-out publicity machine.
Yes, Carl.
Ryan's birthday when this goes to air. He's 90!
But no one predicted what happened next when the show was bought by the BBC. At first it screened at 1:30 in the afternoon until the head of the BBC had a conversation with his teenage daughter.
Who said to him, listen, all of the kids are rushing home to watch this show called Neighbours, we love it. So he started repeating the show at 5:30 in the afternoon and boom.
The show's most famous episode, Scott and Charlene's Wedding, had 2 million viewers in Australia and 20 million in the UK. By 1989, Neighbours was pulling 20 million viewers a day in the UK, a third of the population.
Well, originally it was written for kids. Originally. Now it's murder.
Oh, threesomes.
Threesomes. Yeah. What's wrong
It's
with
a whole
threesomes?
lot of stuff. Whatever floats your boat.
And I remember when I went to the UK, they had terms like neighbours' doors, which is how they referred to fly-wire doors, because it was a bit of a novelty for them.
But in March this year, Britain's Channel 5 finally pulled the pin, removing the show's main source of funding.
When Neighbours started, we only had 5 TV channels. And now we've got all these streaming services and there is more television drama being made now than ever in our history. So how many people still have time to devote 2.5 hours a week to a soap opera like Neighbours?
Its rival soap, Home and Away, still survives. But, like Neighbours, was recently shunted off to a digital channel in the UK.
Both shows have launched some massive careers, both on and off the camera. In fact, you sometimes hear Ramsay Street called Neighbours University, because there's a common story of young fans who get their first job here out of high school. And that includes the current executive producer. He first got a job on Neighbours after writing the show a letter as a teenager, telling them where he thought they were going wrong.
I got home one day, I was in year 11, and my mum said to me, someone from Neighbours has called you. And he said to me, you've got some good ideas. When you finish school, maybe there'll be a job for you.
For the new audition in Ramsay Street.
But the show did come in for serious criticism over its casting.
It was vanilla. There was nobody Indigenous. There should have been actually Middle Eastern people. There should have been Chinese. That was what Neighbours lacked, and I was critical of that.
It didn't reflect really any version of Australia at that time in terms of diversity, and especially not where it was purportedly set, which is the middle eastern suburbs of Melbourne.
The show now has Asian, Aboriginal, gay and trans characters. Although last year Aboriginal cast members alleged they were racially abused by crew members on set.
Do you think the show could have afforded to bring in that diversity a bit sooner?
Absolutely, I would have liked to have seen it happen earlier, but it's happened in the time that it's happened, and I'm just glad it has.
You can say that again, Bouncer.
The show's production company Fremantle is also being criticised by the Entertainment Industry Union. Staff who've been on long-term contracts, which is common in television production, say they're being denied redundancy payments because they aren't employees.
You know, if it is the last hurrah, it's the least we could do.
But the big question is, how do you wrap up a story that's been running for 37 years?
I'm a bit inclined to bring back all the favourites. I am, because that's what made it what it is.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'd love to see a big nostalgic game of street cricket down Ramsay Street and, cricket ball smashes a window.
Yes. And Harold coming up.
That's right.
That's wrong.
I would probably end it fairly sentimentally, I have to say. I would, have Harold return in his caravan and drive up the street and have dinner with Susan and Carl and put the bins out.
Something as simple as having a cup of tea and one of them walking out the door and saying, "I'll see you tomorrow," and closing the door and the lights turning off, to give the sense that this suburban life will continue. It's not an end. Carl and Susan are still going to be there. Toadie's going to still be popping in for a cup of tea to talk about his problems. Don't worry, Neighbours will still go on without you.